What's up? I'm talking about everything you need to know about the Alliance of American Football. And what I'm covering here is the teams, the coaches, and some of the players. Not even all the coaches, just the head coach. Just a little bit of tidbits of information, the real information you need to know. Uh, Nothing big in that league yet, but there are some names and there's some hype. There's some hype. So with that being said, let's get this underway. Starting, I'm gonna try to do this in alphabetical order. So I'm gonna be starting with the Arizona Hotshots. Obviously, they're playing out of Temple, Arizona. Uh, they're playing in Sun Devil Stadium, which seats about 57,078. More or less, I can't guarantee that's the right number, but it's what it said. This one I'm going with. Their coach is Rick Neuheisel. I think I'm saying that right. I'm not 100%. He's been the head coach at the University of Colorado Boulder, University of Washington, and UCLA, which is an alma mater. He's got an 87.59 overall record. Process that however you like. Uh, their their uniforms are interesting to say the least. Red and green. I got, you can take a look at the thumbnail. Uh, that's really that's that's what it is. There, it's very interesting to say the least. Um, some love it, some are like, yeesh. I'd probably be more on the yeesh side. Now on to the players. Some of the players. I named most of the positions are all the same. I name all quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and the way I got this information, I went and looked it up. It's real hard to tell who their stars are supposed to be. So I'm doing this based on their system on how I believe, because it's supposed to be set up where the starters are what I'm believing or what I'm seeing at number one. But I could be wrong. They could switch it up. Who knows? But as of right now, these are starters. Quarterback for, and this is for Arizona. Quarterback John Wolford, at 6'1". Running back Larry Rose III at 5'11". Wide receivers Richie Mullaney at 6'2", and Rashad Ross at 6 foot. Tight end Thomas Dewart at 6'2". Defensive end Raheem Yates at 6'2". Linebacker Kalen Burnett at 6'4". Linebacker Niles Morgan at 6'1". And defensive backs Raheem and Sterling Moore, 6'1" and 5'9" respectively. Moving on, we have the Atlanta Legends. Now, the interesting thing about the Legends is Brad Childress, former Vikings head coach, was supposed to be the head coach. I had information on this prior, but after I had lost touch with I didn't know if this was real. So after I realized it was real, I came back to it and I had learned that because Mike Vick was supposed to be the head coach, Brad Childress was supposed to be the head coach. Mike Vick was supposed to be the offensive coordinator. Both of them backed out. So now Atlanta Legends have coach Kevin Coyle. Could find nothing on him. If you want information on that, I'm afraid you're going to have to do some research yourself. I couldn't find much of anything. I didn't know what was him and what wasn't. So I stayed away from it. They're playing at Georgia State Stadium, which I believe is the smallest of all the stadiums at seating 24,333. Once again, more or less. Their colors, for some reason, purple and a faded kind of gold. Don't know why. They play in Atlanta, and I'm gonna butcher some of these names. I know. Once again, here's some of the players. Quarterback Peter Pujols at 6'2". I'm throwing this in there because it should be a familiar name. Aaron Murray at 6'1". Former Georgia State product. Played in the NFL. I want to say he played for the Bengals. He was a backup to Andy Dalton, I want to say, for a while. He's had some experience. Running back Denard Robinson at 6 foot. Wide receivers Tavis Jones at 6'4", and Justin Thomas at 5'11". Tight end Charles Stadenberry at Jr. at 6'3". Defensive end Tavares Barnes at 6'3". Defensive backs Corey Griffin at 6'2", and Tyson Graham Jr. 6'2". Next, we got the Birmingham Iron, which before I started figuring it out, I heard Birmingham. My first thought was like Northeastern, but no, it was Alabama. So it's in Birmingham, Alabama. Head coach is Tim Lewis, who's had, I think it was 3 years of experience as I want to say 5 to 7 defensive back coordinator positions in the NFL. So he's had some success. Well, yeah, I'll call that success. They're playing at Legion Field, that seats 71,594. Very standard uniform, black and silver. Looks much like the Raiders in that color scheme. Much like the Browns, though, they have no logo on their helmet. Uh, so quarterback Luis Perez, 6'3", running backs Ladarius Perkins at 5'9", Trent Richardson 5'10", and the way it looked on the depth chart, he wasn't the starter. So, but who knows? I'm gonna watch these these highlights whenever they come out, and I'm gonna look because I don't have the option. I gotta stream it is what I gotta do actually. Wide receiver Amba Etta Tau at 6'1". Tight ends Connor Davis at 6'8", and Busta Anderson. Yes, Busta Anderson at 6'5". Defensive end Aaron Adoye 6'6", linebacker Jonathan Massaquat 6'3", defensive backs Max Redfield 6'1", and Ryan White 5'11". And to my surprise, kicker Nick Novak. That surprised me. Next, we got the Memphis Express. Obviously, Memphis, Tennessee, coached by Mike Singletary. Part of the most one of the most dominant defenses ever in the '85 Bears. Four linebacking coach Giggs, and an 18-22 record as a head coach. When he head coach 49ers. They playing at Liberty Bowl Memorial Stadium, seating 58,325, with an odd styled uniform. It's red and blue based. I don't take it or leave it, man. It's strange to me. Quarterback Zach Mettenberger, 6'5". That was interesting. Running back Zach Stacy 5'9". Wide receiver Devin Lucien 6'2". Reese Horn 6'3". Tight end Brandon Barnes 6'5". Defensive end Corey Vereen 6'2". Linebacker Anthony Johnson 6'3". Defensive back Brandon Maiden 6'1". Next up, the Orlando Apollos. They had arguably some of the coolest uniforms, which are, well, I'm not gonna say uniforms. They got some of the coolest colors on their helmet with gray, and it's like gray and orange. But when it comes to the uniform, they have like this blue uniform, from what I understand, that doesn't fit. It's weird. Um, Head coach is Steve Spurrier. In case you need a little refresher there, Heisman winner, coach for Florida, Georgia Tech, Duke, Tampa Bay Bandits. You have to do research on that one. Duke again, Florida again, the Redskins, South Carolina, and now the Apollos. He's got a college record of 228 wins, 89 losses, 2 ties, an NFL record of 12-20. Just to highlight that one, 12-20 for the NFL. USFL 35-21, and he's 11-10 in bowl games. So on big games. So he's out there. They playing at the Spectrum Stadium, seating 44,206. In Orlando, Florida, obviously. Quarterback Garrett Gilbert at 6'4". Running backs Dearness Johnson at 5'10". Akeem Hunt 5'10". Wide receivers Ishmael Hyman 5'11". Chris Thompson 6 foot. Tight end Sean Price 6'4". Cornerback Marquez White 6'1". Linebacker Terrence Garvin 6'3", who I don't know, there's hype around. Safety Will Hill the third 6'1", who's potential, I guess I'd call that. Oh boy. Next up, Salt Lake Stallions. Yeesh. They got Coach Dennis Erickson. He's been a head coach at University of Idaho, Wyoming, Washington State, University of Miami, Oregon State, and Arizona State University. He has an NFL record of 40-56, and a college record of 179, 96, and 1. They're playing at Rice. I want to say Eccles Stadium, seating 45,807. They got a silver and a powder blue type style uniform. Kind of reminds me of the Detroit Lions style, but I want to say the blue is more like that powder blue San Diego used to have, So Salt Lake City, Utah is where they play. Quarterback Josh Woodrum 6'3", running back Terrell Newby 5'9", wide receiver Sam Mobley 5'10", tight end Tanner Baldry 6'2", defensive end Carter Schultz 6'3", cornerback Steve Williams 5'10", and linebacker Ed Shockley 6'3". Now, I want to say this is who I'm rooting for, but I'm really not rooting for anybody. I just want to see some good games when I see this stuff. But it is a Texas team, so I'm gonna say them for them more or less. The San Antonio Commanders, coached by Mike Riley. He's been coaching, and this is something I thought was worth bringing up, was he's been coaching every year since 1975, which means every year since 1975, he's worked coaching. Whatever it is, he's worked coaching. Um, he's got an NFL record of 14-34, college record of 112-99, a CFL record of 40-32, and a WLAF record of 11-9. They're playing at the Alamo Dome, which is 64,000 flat, supposedly. They have a red, maroon, and whitish gray color scheme. I kind of like it. Some people don't. Just whatever. Obviously playing out of San Antonio, Texas. Quarterback Logan Woodside at 6'1". Running back Kenneth Farrell II at 5'9". Wide receivers Josh Stewart at 6'4" and Darius Prince at 6'1". Tight end Steely Redden 6'4". Linebacker Shane Washington 6'2", and cornerback Nick Orr. Finally, the 8th team, the San Diego Fleet. Coached by the one and only Mike Martz. He's been coaching since '73. He's only missed 8 years in that. He's only missed 8 years of coaching in that span since 1973. But his last gig was as offensive coordinator for the Bears, and that ended in 2001. He has a professional record of 53-32. So, in terms of NFL records, he's actually one of the best. He's actually, I think that is the best on the list. They're playing at SDCCU Stadium, which seats 70,561. They have a black, goldish yellow color scheme, kind of like the Steelers, as far as the colors. Quarterback by Mike Barovici, 6 foot. Running back Terrell Watson, 6'1". Jaquan Gardner, 5'7". Wide receivers Brian Brown, 6 foot, and Francis Owusu, 6'3". Tight ends Marcus Ball, 6'4", and Gavin Escobar, 6'5". Defensive end DeMontre Moore at 6'4". Defensive backs Justin Williams, 6 foot, and Ron Brooks, 6 foot. Safety Ryan Moeller, 6 foot, and linebacker Travis Feeney, 6'4". And that's the gist of what you're looking at as far as the AAF. As far as the play is concerned, I'm gonna do a video here. I'm gonna upload a video here shortly on the real rules and documentation of it, how it's different from the NFL. But there are some changes, and a lot of these changes are some of the changes are in hopes for a safer league. Besides that, let me know what you thought about the video. Let me know how else I can tell you about the AAF, and just let me know what you thought down below. If you got anything to say, comment below. I'll be sure to get to it.